no matter what is your background, you are always primarily adjust for your skill set. If you are good enough, I would be glad to be working for him if I am learning from him. People over here are very open-minded. You become open-minded if you come from India.
Hi guys, welcome to a very special episode of our podcast Talent First. Right now I'm in Manhattan and I'm talking to some of the analytics leaders who have sort of come from India, built a name for themselves and their country in this beautiful country, in this very growing industry, and to understand how life has been for them. So hi Abhishek, hi, how are you?
Hi, Raghav. Thanks for having me here. Good to share my story with you guys, and happy to learn a lot of things from you guys.
Perfect. So Abhishek, as I said, as I was telling you also, दिल से तो हम हिंदुस्तानी हैं.
हाँ,
दिल से तो हम
एकदम.
हिंदुस्तानी हैं.
हाँ.
तो बात हिंदी में करने की ट्राई करेंगे. I
जरूर.
realize आपकी most of your audience
हाँ.
is very English oriented audience.
Okay.
But we'll try to speak in Hindi. करेंगे.
ठीक है. I will follow your cue.
मैं तो सिर्फ हिंदी में बात करूँगा, मेरा बस चले, but
जरूर जरूर.
जरूर. Perfect. So अभिषेक, थोड़ा आप अपने जर्नी के बारे में बताइए. Right now you are the director of analytics AI at Sage
Therapeutics, yes.
So that is something which you are known for right now.
Yes.
But let's try to go back. Let's try to go back when you were 18.
Oh, okay.
When you were 18 years old, explain Abhishek to me. How was it?
18 years. Wow. That's a journey down the lane. I think I was always known, even at that time, and what I have carried till date is the curiosity level. People thought that I was adventurous. And adventurous means I would go into different fields. I would do one thing and then do another thing. I would play soccer and then...
Were you very confident about yourself?
Yes, and that was... to try different things means that you are ready to fail.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you.
Yes, and ready to fail, and we have the confidence that you can get up back. And what also helped me always is that once I failed, I always looked at it to learn some lessons so that I can develop myself.
Can you tell us about one failure, or I won't use the word failure, but one time in life when sort of things were against you, or things were not going as planned, and how did you emerge out of it? I'm just curious.
Okay. I think very early on, we were more of a Microsoft based skill sets we had, and then suddenly there was a need, one particular project was in doldrums. They wanted some high performance to come in and rescue, let's just say.
Right.
But the environment was completely different. It was the database we didn't know the language that was being coded on and all, right? It was it seemed insurmountable challenges ahead of us. We didn't have the skill sets, right? And we were thrown at the deep end. And I think many people will resonate with this. That's when we thought, okay, this is something new.
Yeah.
This is going down the hill. Let's try to pick this up and do what best we can. So I think the biggest learning in that was that again, I can do if I put in all my efforts to it, if I am focused to it, and that's what helped us again emerge successful in that journey. I'm keeping it very high level over here.
Yeah, sure.
To say. But again, it went back to the 18 years old.
So, when was the first time you came to the US?
I came in 2004 February.
2004 February, that is, I think, the world had sort of bounced back from the dot-com bubble or from the 9/11 catastrophe. The world had bounced back. So, I think probably a good time to come to the US economy?
Yeah, it was just picking up its pieces and just starting to after the 9/11 also was good time, and that since everyone was investing into refreshing their technology as such. It was a very good experience of learning.
How did you come to the US? Like, what was your legal, like, how did you get
Oh yeah, so I was working for a City Innovation Lab in
that
India.
is Citibank's captive.
Yeah, in India. It later on became iFlex, etc. So I was working on a project in fixed income trading. They were doing algorithmic trading, etc., and we were just building the platform. So as part of that journey, once we were to unveil that platform into for all the traders, that's how I came in to US.
Okay. Now, for someone like you, I'm assuming when you came to the US, you were not that affluent. I'm assuming.
Yes.
I hope my audience.
Not affluent in language, not affluent in bank balance also.
Yeah. So, डर लगा था कभी?
बहुत, क्योंकि
क्या डर लगा? क्या सड़क पाए हो? मैं पूछ रहा हूँ, मतलब I'm curious. डर क्या लगा था उस टाइम पे?
डर लगा था कि we don't know the culture, we don't know where how to find ourselves, how to set up ourselves, और future का नहीं पता था.
मतलब आपके पेरेंट्स जो थे, जब आप आ रहे थे उस टाइम पे यूएस, तो आई एम श्योर एक डर घर में, उम्मीद भी होगी, डर भी होगा. उम्मीद ये होगी कि बेटा जा रहा है, he will sort of change the game, which you did. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
But डर ये होगा कि भाई बेटा जा रहा है, कहीं कुछ हो ना जाए.
हाँ.
So थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करिए उस टाइम पे घर में what was the conversation that was going on, and उस टाइम पे होता ना कि आपका था छोटे सपने थे, सपने शुरू में छोटे होते हैं.
हाँ.
तो उस टाइम पे क्या छोटे सपने थे आपके? What were your small dreams?
छोटे सपने थे कि जिस एरिया में जा रहा हूँ उसमें थोड़ा सा सीखूं, थोड़ा सा नाम कमाऊं, और ऑफ कोर्स थोड़ा सा दुनिया देखूं. मेरा पर्सनली ये बहुत था कि इंडिया में बहुत जगह डिफरेंट एरियाज देखा है, कल्चर देखा है, लोगों से काम किया है. न्यूयॉर्क being the financial center of the world, I wanted to be here to learn how the business actually works.
Sure.
तो ये था, और पेरेंट्स के तरफ से था कि जो कुछ भी ये करना चाह रहा है इसे सफलता मिले, और he doesn't get into any kind of untoward incidents. Because इंडिया में at that time बहुत कुछ सुना हुआ था as such, right?
तो जब यूएस आए पहला साल आई थिंक इज वेरी लोनली.
हाँ.
जो मैंने सुना है और मैंने ऑब्जर्व भी किया है सबकी जर्नी में, स्पेशली व्हेन दे कम टू एलियन कंट्री, इट्स वेरी लोनली. अब तो लोग सोशल मीडिया एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट, बट दैट टाइम देयर वाज नथिंग. सो एक्सप्लेन टू मी, हाउ वाज योर फर्स्ट ईयर इन द यूएस?
फर्स्ट ईयर वाज
गुड्स एंड बैड्स बोथ.
गुड.
अच्छा क्या लगा, बुरा क्या लगा?
Good was, I think we found a few people जो हमारे background से थे, who were working together, and we made a close net.
अच्छा.
But the best thing about that was we had the same mentality of exploring. पहले साल US काफ़ी explore किया, both from food perspective, from location perspective, घूमा.
तो मतलब food perspective में explore किया मतलब समझा नहीं, मतलब
this is the melting pot of the world.
Right.
You had all kinds of cuisine over here.
Right.
Because we were trying to explore the different cultures. We found African cuisine here, and we found French cuisine here. So and that opened up our mindset कि केवल इतने में नहीं रहना, जो चीज़ कर रहे हैं केवल उसी में confined नहीं रहना. There is lot of other things that you can, and that's what New York City taught me. That made me curious to know about others. That made me curious to know about other technology areas, and that's why I think where I am today, it is a squiggly path. It has been developed by New York City as such. I don't know if I would have been the same if I was in Charlotte or not, but most probably the same if I was in San Francisco. It's a melting pot. It shaped. It opened up our thinking process. It broke down a lot of
Tell me one thing. आपने पहली चीज़ ये बोली कि मेरे अराउंड और भी इंडियंस थे, there were other Indians as well, that sort of became your support system, and you became theirs.
Yes.
That is very critical for people, right? And that is, अगर मैं आपकी जर्नी में, like if you had to introspect, I'm sure that because they were there, you were able to survive that time and thrive.
Yes.
Don't you give that credit to that?
Yes.
that group of folks.
Yes. Without them, I think anybody who doesn't have some sort of support system or familiarity,
Yeah, yeah.
they will feel too lonely, and they would want to go back.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, those five or an extended group, 7, 8 people helped me become a New Yorker. Even though we were all trying to find ourselves, and that expanded our group as such.
So those friends that you have, are they in the IT industry, tech industry?
Most of them, yes.
Most of them?
Some of them have transitioned on the finance business side,
Sure,
but
sure.
most of them are in the technology area
Right.
still.
Now, my question is that there are so many techies that work in the US, and that too Indian techies.
Yes.
Like so many.
Yes.
Like I was just looking at the stat. TCS has 47,000 employees in the US. That's a really big number.
Very big.
Very
Yes.
big number. 47,000 people in the US.
Yes.
Now I want to understand that this whole migration of Indian techies in the US, according to you, explain it to us. Why has it happened? According to you,
Okay.
and at the same time explain to us the future of it. Can more come in the future? That's what I'm trying to ask.
So rather than saying why they started coming here, I would focus on why they were successful here.
Sure.
I think in my mind the success was because of two things. One is our education system in India, how we think logically.
Right.
That is very important for a technology engineer to thrive, to break down problem into small components and figure out solutions. And the second was the English language, right? That helped everybody to assimilate. And going back to your point that 47,000 TCS employees, you may not be that surprised to know that any banks over here, if you look at in their technology division, you will find at least 75% of them being Indians.
Wow.
Yeah, employees wise also.
No, I think that's very important because I told you about the future is US pathway also, right?
Yes.
And a lot of these techies that are coming to the US through us, I'm telling them, you will not be lonely.
Not at all
Most
now.
of them are worried about that.
No.
Ki what will happen? They will accept it. Well, Indians are already accepted, respected.
Respected. I would say they are respected because one more quality we bring, definitely we are recognized for, that we have the tenacity, we have the grit to put in the labor, to be focused, to get the job done. That trust has been developed over years by all our countrymen who are here.
But aane wale time mein, in the future, when an Indian techie wants to sort of decide between India and the US, give me 3 reasons why you think for a techie US is the place to be according to you. And again, you can also give me 3 reasons to be in India. But first start with me reasons to be in New York, US, according to you.
So I think over here there is a culture of innovation. Innovation demands development of new ideas, visions, and so the technology.
Sure.
Technologies are in demand that any new vision you can make it a reality.
Right.
That's why you will get a lot of opportunities here to work at the very futuristic things.
Yeah.
That's why I think this is where somebody wants to have a drive to know what is going on in the world and learn that in the world, in the sense in the technology world.
Sure.
Learn that. That's why this is one of the most important reasons from my perspective. Second is that no matter what is your background, you are always primarily adjudged for your skill sets here. Right? There is no hierarchy as much as anywhere else. If you are good enough, today somebody might be working for me, 3 years down the line, he might be, because of his skills, because of his development, I would be glad to be working for him if I am learning from it. So that kind of thing here, people over here are very open-minded. You become open-minded if you come from India. You break down a lot of thought process, a lot of boundaries. Third thing, you get ample opportunities to thrive here. Some experiment. That is the culture over here, even in universities, even in jobs as such. Everybody has some kind of talent. One role may not be perfect for you, which is not working out, but you may thrive in another.
Yeah.
That opportunity you get a lot over here. So I think that's the third reason, and for people to think that this gives you enough opportunity and some confidence to be ultimately successful, whatever be the success criteria you have.
Yeah.
It gives you a pathway, it gives you confidence to be successful.
When you came to the US and you worked in big companies, before I come to your music man, all of that, before that you were in JPMC,
Yes.
you were in Oracle Financial Services. Then, आपको किस चीज़ में confidence दिया? What did you think of yourself at that time that you could stand in front of these people and not get scared? आज आपके पास confidence है वो मुझे दिखता है, and I understand क्यों है. तब क्यों?
तब एक चीज, ऑफ कोर्स द एजुकेशन सिस्टम सेड कि
पढ़ाई में अच्छे थे आप?
पढ़ाई में ठीक था.
कहाँ से पढ़े हो आप?
IIT खड़गपुर में.
तभी तो
बट डजेंट मैटर विच कॉलेज. एक चीज हर कॉलेज में इंडियन एजुकेशन सिस्टम ने सिखाई है, इज टू थिंक a little bit analytically.
Right,
वो हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम में ही है.
Right.
और कोई भी प्रॉब्लम होगा उसको, और दूसरा है कि नहीं, we have to work on this.
Yeah.
So that is what gave me the confidence to do that.
Now, when you were in JPMC, this is around the sort of the financial crisis.
Yes.
So I want to understand, and you don't need to be specific about JPMC. I understand there are NDAs and all in place, so I don't want to go there. But generally, explain to us the role of technology in a bank, in a financial services institution, and at the same time, give us some gossip about the financial crisis that happened and how did it impact people.
Yeah, that was. I joined JPMC in 2007 before the meltdown started.
Yeah.
It was very interesting time, and we have seen Big Shot and all those movies.
What a movie.
When I see them, I feel that okay, I was in a way part of that time at JP Morgan when Bear Stearns was being merged with JP Morgan. 2-3 days before that,
Lehman Brothers crashed.
Yeah, and before the merger, about buying out of Bear Stearns, we were looking into the books, etc. Because we were called. I was helping the, I was in prime brokerage, and we were helping the business owners of fixed income and FX to evaluate the books.
Right.
And that's where I saw the limitation of the technology, by the way. All our applications had failed that day during those times because we had not planned for such a scenario. We had to go back to paper-based, Excel-based work for a couple of weeks because the total volume of trades happening, every data pipelines had just simply burst.
My God.
So I've seen that, and it was an eye-opener that okay, you can make a very robust machine or a platform, but black swan events happen, and everything can. You have to be ready for human intervention.
Yeah.
Right. So that was very interesting for me. And when we came out, that's when we started investigating the real power of technology that can be brought in for banks.
Right.
And that's when the era of investment towards automation started happening in banking in a renewed way. So I think from 2009 onwards, for another 3 years, especially in JP Morgan, we started exploring cloud. Even at that time. Private cloud in JP Morgan.
At that time, it was AWS was the leader, right?
No, it was not anywhere well known. No. They may have launched. I haven't looked into the history, but we did not know.
Who were the dominant players back then for cloud?
I don't think there was. It was more of an anthema for banks to put their. They wanted to. Even the private cloud was on-prem somewhere.
Yeah.
But JP Morgan was more of a technology leader to to start investing into a new technology and see how it works.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to oversee a project on natural language processing, which we call NLP now.
Nice.
We were doing very rudimentary at that time.
Very cool.
But we started exploring that. We deployed one small solution on it. So way back in 2010, and how I see banks, big banks as, they think about future, they invest into technologies and tools to be developed that can deal with the
But
new
tell me
realities.
one thing, when I talk to most of the banking folks in analytics, I'm realizing that 90% of the work is still migration.
Yes.
I'm very surprised. Why does it take so long to migrate data?
So
Or is there so much data that migration in your does the साल पुराना data still be migrated? I'm just curious.
इसके लिए प्रॉब्लम, वन ऑफ द थिंग समझना है कि पहले फोकस था ऑन कलेक्टिंग द डेटा.
Yeah.
Or banks which have become so big, they have got different organization, different silos. So data has been in silos. Now everybody, to get any insight, you have to access the data. इतने सारे regulations है because of which the data has been under lockdown. So now I think from 2015 onwards, banks were able to find reliable tools like Snowflake where they can bring the data together, and that's where they had. It was a little bit of slow adoption from their mindset because they are really fearful of a data breach. There's a huge impact, so there has been. But now I think if I look at banks today, banks have kind of solved the problem of bringing the data together. Now they are investing in how do I pull insights, how do I extract the value from that all the data that I had been collecting. I had been making infrastructure to collect data, and then how do I bring them together? Now I have to extract value.
Sure.
So they have been investing humongously in analytics in last 2 to 3 years as such, and there is no more when we say about adoption of a new innovation like analytics, it has now become mainstream. It is no longer a few enthusiasts trying to experiment in a corner of the organization. Now everybody has accepted that this is what we have to do. We have to look at predictive modeling, we have to do machine learning models, and now people are even looking at prescriptive, the next era of analytics advancement. Rather than just predictive, what would be the prescriptive?
What do you mean by that?
Predictive is that you predict
on the basis of past.
Yes.
Historical data.
Yes. And prescriptive is that you actually tell what are the decisions you have to take.
Does the Gen AI layer to it?
Gen AI helps in, from my understanding of Gen AI is not of prescriptive, it is more about finding more insights of the existing data.
Only in some form.
Yes. I will
just the UI is different. Just the UI is different.
Yes, it has got the ability to read unstructured data at a huge volume.
That's the main thing.
Yes. Earlier, if you think of a Google search, right? When we search for any words, we were always given a link. Right? And then you have to figure out within that link, where is your relevant information embedded.
I read a very interesting thing. ChatGPT actually is a third word, it projects sort of a predictor. So basically, when you write two words, let's say you write I love, hypothetically, ChatGPT's goal is to predict the next word in the best possible manner. So it will keep predicting the next word.
Yes.
That's what ChatGPT is, and when you see the output, you see like a whole sentence, a whole paragraph, but the way it is being built is that the game is to predict the next word that is the most logical in that sequence.
Yes, and to construct a sentence as such. Yes.
So two things about ChatGPT that we just discussed. One, as you said, that it can solve a lot of unstructured data and draw inferences. Unstructured at scale.
Yes.
That was not done before. Second thing we discussed, at a broad level, it is just sort of predicting the next best word.
Yes, next best word. And that's why the use case today, what everybody is exploring is, one example is in call centers. That's where
immediate use case.
Immediate use case. It will take a little bit of more advancement for it to do more other things.
Right,
as such.
right. No, so now let's say that you also worked in companies like Mu Sigma, Fractal, EY.
Yeah.
Sort of like consulting companies.
Yes.
Now, when I read that TCS has 47,000 employees in the US, like that was very mind-boggling. And as I got deeper into that research, I realized that there are many IT service companies who are employing thousands of professionals, and most of these companies are run by Indians. Most of these companies.
Yeah.
So can you explain to us that what does IT services, consulting, analytics, whatever they call themselves, AI now, AI first company, what do they actually, what do they actually do in the US?
Yes.
You were in three of them.
Yes, yes. So let's understand from technology point of view the layers that it goes through. One is take a business problem
Sure.
and create a blueprint, technology blueprint, how to do it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is once you have the blueprint, then somebody has to do the tooling.
Yeah.
So most of the technology consulting firms are mostly about tooling. You have been given a blueprint, then let's make it. And especially from India, they are very good at it. I see analytics also as a way of, it's just a tool in my mind also. It's a way which has harnessed the data. We didn't have that capability before analytics was there.
Sure.
We were just building pipelines to pass the data. So these companies are more focused on building, while some of the consulting firms like EY, etc., are more at making the blueprint. Blueprint. What is the new transformational blueprint for a given company? That's what EY, Accenture's focus on. They may not have that kind of technical, in-depth talent to at times make it into reality. That's where TCS, etc., bring in a lot of experience to the table.
So basically, you're saying that all of these companies, being very honest, are not really building any groundbreaking products. They are basically figuring out a niche area or many niches,
Yes.
and going very deep into solutioning and solving it.
Yes, and once they have done it at one place, it's a very good rinse and
Replication is
repeat.
very easy.
Yeah.
And so, the way these companies usually operate, and I want to understand what was your job. So, you were a client partner.
Yeah.
So, explain to me. Let's say I am Citibank, hypothetically, and you are a person who's representing any analytics company,
Yeah.
and you want to get business from me. How does it work?
So the way me and my team specifically approached is to ask you for your business problem. We would actually try to define your business problem first and then get into solutioning. As Einstein said that if I had only 1 hour to save the world, I'll spend 55 minutes to define the problem.
Yeah, yeah.
So we tried to understand with a lot of talent bringing together to define the problem. Our experience was that most of the time the people who thought they had the business problem right, once they talked to us, they figured out that there is a lot of refinement needed to it. But once we had the business problem well defined, it was all about what kind of tool is required to solve it. And that's what I found that my clients trusted me for, that I didn't have a bias towards a particular tool or a particular technology. So if there was a need of using only Java, that's all right. But if there is a need of using a modeling to do this particular solution, that's what I would do.
So Abhishek, we were talking about your time in these consulting companies, and basically we understood how they sort of solution it for the end client. Now that is work on one side, but आपने मास्टर्स भी की यहाँ पे.
हाँ.
आपने मास्टर्स वीजा के लिए की थी या फिर आपने सीखने के लिए की थी?
So very interesting वाकया हुआ, एक अजीब कहानी है. As global head of operations, एक दिन somebody came कि भाई आपकी signature चाहिए ये particular so called model को release करना है.
Right.
मैंने पूछा क्या करेगा? Before putting on my signature, autograph. So he said that this is going to predict which employee is going to be a saboteur.
Okay.
Come on, I am a master's in computer science, math, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. But surprisingly, 6 months later and 2 convictions, I was so convert that how do I don't understand this math? And that's what drove me to Columbia for a master's in second master's in analytics as such. That was a very big, and Columbia experience itself was a very big eye opener.
You left your job at that time?
Yes, I left the job.
Full-time masters?
I went for a full-time master's because I wanted to give it all. When I am going into something, I wanted to completely focus on it.
Go deeper.
Yes, and as I said, I am a bit adventurous. I didn't know coming out of it what will happen, leaving behind the technology expertise.
After JPMC you went there?
Yes. So I left JPMC, went there.
2017?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, 2017, 1.5 years thing.
And you became a faculty also there, right?
So I became a faculty after I completed my master's.
In Columbia's business school?
Yes.
What's it called?
Columbia Business School?
It's called Columbia Business School. I was like, they must have a different name.
Yeah. I was in the maths department, again my first love. Math department.
What is your second love?
My wife.
Okay.
Still.
Sure.
Over there I was helping one faculty for analytics in organization. That is the course that I helped that. And why this particular? Because it gave me a perspective of how organizations are embedding analytics in it. And having seen big banks, how they operate, I was able to bring some of my experience to it. And I learned. The biggest experience was I was learning from students, from my colleagues. In my MS, I saw people from all cultures, all over the world. It was the most energizing experience of my life, as such. So
no, I think that's one thing that we've realized, that learning should never stop.
Yes.
And the ability to unlearn is more critical than the ability to learn.
Yes, and I will add to that, never hold the knowledge back. The more you share, the more you learn. One has to be in a mindset that I don't have to hold what I have learned. You share, and then you find out that where you have misunderstood certain concepts, then only you will get. So it's and life has to be a constant learning. Given especially the era we are, tools are changing every year now.
But what do you think about low code, no code tools? Like what I've been talking to some of the practitioners. Now they are giving me a very sort of worrying take on one side, that these low code, no code tools will take away a lot of jobs. Or it's I don't know.
So philosophically, I have a different thought about that. If we go back 30 years ago, when Excel was being launched, they said accountants will be losing all the job. And look at Excel, everybody uses it. Low code, no code is going to enable people, all kinds of people, to develop their own solutions, which and as it becomes more easy to use, the human race can move to more value addition work as such. So I don't believe that it is going to take away job. It will open up new avenues where analytics can be used. So I'm all for it. What wakes me up every morning is that how to make machines which do not need humans to operate it. That's where we have to go, and low code, no code is a step towards that. And it will allow, it should ultimately be in 10 years, I think, we will be at a stage where everybody, doesn't matter what they are doing, will be using a form of analytics just as they are using Excel today.
Right.
You talk about a receptionist, you talk about somebody trading stocks, to you maintaining some sort of inventory. Everybody use Excel for certain work, and that's what low code, no code is going to enable for analytics.
Wow, that was very helpful, very enlightening. Thank you so much, Abhishek aap aaye. This was a very good conversation, and the best part was that you are sort of a flag bearer, if I had to say. People like you for Indians in the US. And one, if you had to just end with a closing thought or advice, Imagine I'm a young techie, I'm 25, 26, 24, planning to come and make a career in the US.
Yeah.
दिल से क्या एडवाइस देना चाहोगे?
मैं बोलूँगा कि ये राइट एज है, टेक रिस्क, एंड even in failure of anything that you are trying to do, you will learn. And believe me, in 20 years I have found that every learning has helped me progress to the next step. I have used those experiences in something or the other, and that's why I have a very squiggly career path. Going from a DBA to a program management kind to analytics in finance, and now into pharma. So advice, have the confidence that failing in doing something is acceptable, but have the mindset also that I will learn from it and progress. This is the right age.
Perfect. I think this was helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Raghav, for having me here.
Thank you.